Let's get straight into this. Not even an introduction, because things are red hot right now and changing by the hour. I have completely dumped the previous episode I had recorded. I usually prepare all 3 episodes together, as the speaking program gets constructed before the month begins, building in all of the requirements for progressive and targeted language skills development. It's not just a nice to listen to kind of podcast after all. But a few weeks ago, the landscape in lithium was quite different. So it's back to the drawing board, and I am recording this as the day it goes live. It can't get any fresher than that. In the last episode, you'll remember we discussed in detail that the lithium prices nosedived in 2023 from record levels in 2022 due to lower demand from the battery and EV sectors. If we want to speculate on the lithium price forecast, then let's take a look at the state of play in the EV battery market. Well, the EV market grew in 2023, but the sales didn't rise as fast as expected. Why was that? Well, in 2023, S&P Global Mobility surveyed 7,500 respondents globally to identify the cause of hesitation in purchasing an EV. Cost was reported to be the main reason that consumers are holding back from buying an EV, in spite of the fact that battery electric vehicles are getting closer to the cost of the internal combustion engine. 48% of those surveyed considered EV prices to be too high, even though they understand that most EVs will come at a price premium. The last 2 years have reflected less desire to purchase an EV in the community overall, although the reasons given have changed from concerns regarding EV range, charging, and choice options to cost overall, purchasing and charging. Now, this may reflect global economic pressures post-COVID-19, although it should be noted that 62% of respondents reported that they are waiting until the technology improves before purchasing a new vehicle. So I don't think that the data reflects this to be a cost concern only. But while consumer demand for EVs is still softer than the previous forecasts, governments globally have introduced waves of policy initiatives promoting energy transition, industrial onshoring, and regional supply chains. So we know that demand for EVs and the underlying components, meaning batteries, cathodes, raw materials, is going to increase exponentially. But what about battery alternatives that don't rely on lithium? Look, lithium-ion technology is expected to continue to be the main battery type for the foreseeable future. With all battery types, improving one feature usually means worsening another. For lithium and alternative batteries, increasing energy density often means hurting something else. Alternatives to lithium batteries usually have lower energy density, but they try to improve other areas, like being more environmentally friendly, cheaper, faster charging, or lasting longer through charging cycles. There's always a trade-off. Higher energy density lithium batteries sacrifice a bit on the other performance factors. But it's safe to say that lithium demand for battery technologies in the future is a given. With all of the government incentives and regulations supporting the transition to a renewable energy future, we need to continue to invest in battery feed materials, including lithium. And in mining, you're almost always too late. The work needs to start right now. Despite the recent decrease in global lithium production, the lithium market is forecast to substantially grow in the next few years, and new mines will be required to be able to keep up with market demand. But as we explored in the last episode, this forecast demand certainty is not reflected in the current pricing of lithium. In spite of the current lithium pricing challenges, some lithium producers seem to indicate a bullish long-term view, and they're making big investments into new hard rock mining capacities. This is happening in Brazil, where we have the notable miners Sigma Lithium, Lithium Ionic Corporation, and Atlas Lithium Corporation, amongst others, that are doing some transformational work there. But in Australia, things are looking a bit different, with the announcement of a number of lithium and, by the way, also battery metal nickel mines going into reduced production or even care and maintenance. That is a total production closure. There's a real contradiction in the Australian mining sector, where there is a real need for new mines to be developed to provide raw materials for the energy transition, but the famously high cost of production is affecting already operating sites and capital for commissioning new sites. A quote from a Reuters article titled, "Can Royalties Help Australia's Critical Minerals Lift Off?" published yesterday, the 12th of February 2024, and I quote, they claim, "Despite the expected strong demand for critical minerals such as lithium, cobalt, and rare earths, junior mining companies are struggling under the traditional model of raising equity and debt financing." And therein lies the short-term problem for the lithium miners in Australia. The short-term pricing uncertainty is preventing the investment needed today for tomorrow's demand. There is currently a big call from industry for the government to introduce incentives such as tax breaks or production tax credits to stimulate production of these critical minerals, including nickel and lithium. There's also calls for access to financing options such as royalties, which is an agreement that provides a mining company with a one-time payment in exchange for a share of future revenues. While short-term uncertainty clouds the lithium market outlook currently, the long-term investment case remains positive, and it is clear that Australia needs to find a way to navigate this uncertainty without compromising its position as a critical mineral supplier for the future. Forecasting commodity prices is notoriously difficult, and a lot can change in a short period of time. But S&P Global projects average annual North Asia lithium carbonate prices to stabilise near current levels, slightly higher. Look, the lithium industry is cyclical, like most other commodities, and the current demand is still strong enough to attract investment, especially with support from government policy in the EV and the renewable sector. So at this point, I wanted to include a short comment from a CEO of a mining company in Australia, and this mining company operates in the critical mineral space and, yes, has some lithium. I've been in discussion with him on a number of these issues and is only too pleased to give his perspective on this issue. However, things have gotten a bit hectic for him at this point in time, as you can imagine. So he has graciously agreed to catch up with me and to let me record his take on the current situation. But we haven't been able to complete this by the time of this episode's release. Now, do keep an eye out for a bonus mini episode in the near future. With a bit of luck, it will be available during our group discussion, and it may just add some fuel to the fire for that.